In tonight's 2 News Investigates report, a hidden dark side to all the glitz and the glamour of All-Star Weekend.
On 2 News at 4 today, we told you that 12 people were arrested for thinking they were going to have sex with children. New tonight, we learned there was a separate investigation catching people accused of trafficking women. Jim Spiewak is live tonight. And Jim, a new method was used to go about these undercover investigations.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, Heidi. And, you know, some of these women were brought in from outside of the state to be exploited during All-Star Weekend. And instead of being arrested and just thrust into the criminal justice system, for the very first time, law enforcement asked to be better trained about how to think about this crime. Who's really the criminal here? Is it the woman or the person forcing that woman into sex labor?
We had been preparing for it even the year before. The second we knew All-Star Weekend was going to be in Utah.
Candace Rivera knew traffickers would come to Salt Lake during All-Star Week.
We have eyes on that area. And the reason being it's a large sporting event, or a large event in general, that's bringing in lots of money, a lot of celebrities, and just a lot of people.
Rivera runs Exitus, an anti-human trafficking nonprofit. And the Department of Homeland Security reached out to her and asked her to train law enforcement to help them catch traffickers.
We need to figure out how to do this the right way. We need a different method.
So Rivera flipped the script, and she trained officers to look at this crime as exploitation, not prostitution. And she says for the first time, law enforcement went in with a social worker, not to arrest the women, but instead to help them.
She goes, "No one's going to believe this." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" She goes, "No one's going to believe I wasn't rushed by a bunch of cops. I was rushed by a bunch of social workers." That's what she said. But I love it. And she goes, "And I love it." She's like, "I'm so happy." She's like, "I'm happy because no one has ever wanted to help me before."
Rivera says multiple groomers, recruiters, and traffickers were arrested over the 3-night sting operation during All-Star Weekend. And starting an investigation this way can help in prosecuting.
So there's fear from all angles. So to finally have someone that you can trust, it changes the game.
Now, several partners here in Utah are helping some of these survivors with things like housing and substance use treatment, among other resources. Where Candace goes from here, she's already got other law enforcement agencies, both inside the state of Utah and across the country, that she's going to start training with some of these methods now that she says this proof of concept has been proven so successful. We're live in Salt Lake tonight. Jim Spiewak, KUTV 2 News.